All right, now, everybody. Quiet, listen to me. We're going to start a show. Now, some of you people have been with me before. You know it's going to be a tough grind, but we're going to have a show.
Good morning to you. It is the Mark Thompson Show. In for Mark Thompson, I'm Kim McAllister. I've got Albert along for the ride on this July 3rd. Hi, Albert.
Good morning, Kim.
Good morning to you. It is hot. I don't know if you've been feeling it this weekend around the Bay Area, but I was just reading this story about temperatures on the rise in California. The those officials are warning people that the heat may be putting us in danger. So we're going through a little bit of a heat wave right in time for July 4th. Any big plans for July 4th, Albert?
No, I do have dogs, and the dogs are terrified of the fireworks. So I usually take them to Fremont. I'm from Union City.
Okay.
I live in Union City. There's no fireworks in Fremont, so I usually just put them in the car. We'll go for a little trip to Fremont.
Fireworks.
We'll go around, and then we'll just park in the car somewhere.
Your poor dogs. That's a bummer. It's it's one of these things with dogs and having fireworks, and it doesn't stop. They're shaking, they're afraid in some cases, and it just seems like they're everywhere. They're blasting all over the Bay Area.
Yeah, and we've tried everything. We tried the CBD, we tried Benadryl, we tried everything. It doesn't help. So, and of course we're getting like some terribly really, really hot weather this week. And of course, in time of the fireworks.
Well, I was looking at this story from KTVU about Bay Area first responders, and they are really worried about the risk of wildfires because in fire danger zones like the one where I live, there are still people selling fireworks and doing fireworks. They're worried about the risk of wildfires being sparked. And they say, this is the Alameda County Fire Chief, Randall West, who says, we want you to have fun, but don't let your fun be at the other person's expense. And I just, I'm looking at they're saying we've got flammable fuels, that we've got a problem with that. And you've got all these opportunities for another wildfire. And I just don't get why we're still, I understand the bigger celebrations, like maybe the professionally run fireworks, but I don't understand why still all the little fireworks everywhere if we know that we're in a high danger zone around the whole Bay Area.
It's not even that we're in a high danger zone. We've seen it happen. We've had years of terrible fires, man. We had that day of that Armageddon, the whole city, the whole Bay Area was orange that day. And we've had, it's just a lot going on, and all just for fireworks. It's weird. It's weird to put my head around it.
Yeah, no,
there's got to be better ways to celebrate America. Just have a barbecue. Have a barbecue, go swimming, and
let that be the end of it.
Fires.
I know. I have good memories from when I was little of holding sparklers. Watching my neighbors set off the fireworks in the middle of the street when that was legal, like before we had a real problem with wildfires. At least I don't think we had a problem with wildfires then. Maybe I was oblivious, but now we're not. Now we know. Now we have to wear the masks because of the smoke every year. So, what I don't understand too, Albert, is how in some communities they'll stop selling them and they'll say, like, this is a no fireworks community. You can't buy fireworks here. And then the next town over, they're selling fireworks. Like all the people from the town where it's illegal aren't just going to go buy them there.
Yeah, exactly. They're just going to go over there, buy it up, go to their city. And then, and I'm not sure what the patrols are looking like, but I know in Union City, they've apparently cracked down hard on the illegal fireworks, but I've yet to hear it. It's a sight to see. So if anybody's from the Union City area, around the Dakota area, it's like an epic fireworks show. It's kind of crazy how big of a display and the kind of stuff they actually have. It's almost like a Disneyland, and you can see different parts of the communities have their own crazy fireworks show, which was cool before the historic drought that we got in that led to all the fires. So it was cool like 10, 15 years ago. Now, not so much.
Not so much.
The dogs and the fires. So
have you already been hearing it for the last week or so?
Yes. So, and it's going to last for the next few months after that. So unfortunately, July 4th, the fireworks for my little ones last a
It'll-
little longer than just the 4th.
Yeah, it seems to last forever. Did you want to show that video?
It is the first responder video. Here, let's take a look from KTVU.
The newsroom.
Yeah, let's have a look at it.
From firefighters and their run up here to the 4th of July holiday. Zach?
Yeah, we've already seen illegal firework busts play out in the Bay Area over the last few weeks. Firefighters say they're worried about people getting hurt. But when you add all the recent hot weather we've had to the equation, they're also now very concerned about the Bay Area's mounting risk of wildfires. With July 4th approaching, across the Bay Area, the bangs and booms of illegal fireworks are back, and so are the warnings.
We want you to have fun, but don't let your fun be the next person's loss.
If you are responsible for a firework that causes a large fire, you're responsible for that fire.
CAL FIRE Deputy Chief Jonathan Cox and his team nervously monitoring the region's quickly drying fields of grass.
We have flammable fuels that are out there, we get hot weather, and we have an event where there may be a lot of ignitions.
Considered the perfect recipe for a wildfire. Why police are ramping up busts on illegal fireworks sales. In Pacifica Sunday, officers showing off seized fireworks. So-called safe and sane fireworks are legal in the city, but police say these didn't fall under the category. And while safe and sane fireworks are legal in about a handful of other Bay Area communities, fire officials say in these hot, dry conditions, they'd prefer you not even take a chance with those.
The temperatures are increasing, and as you know, that we had a lot of rain in the past, which what that means is we have a lot of vegetation that is out there that is drying out.
First responders also worried about the uptick in firework-related injuries that their crews see around this time every year. A report by insurance website Quote Wizard finding that injuries tied to fireworks are up 26% across the U.S. since 2018.
One of these alone, it can maim, it can permanently damage somebody's body. It can kill them even.
So bottom line, his message,
we know everyone wants to celebrate 4th of July and enjoys fireworks, but that's for the professionals. Go to a professional show, see it done legally and safely.
and if you have illegal fireworks right now and you want to get rid of them safely, a number of Bay Area communities say they are planning to offer drop-off locations, no questions asked. That includes here in Oakland, where the fire department says they'll be providing collection barrels outside of several of their fire stations. Mike?
All right, all in the run-up to...
That is just, I mean, you look at San Bruno, and I mean, it seems like at least once, twice a year, there's a really concerning fire near San Bruno, South San Francisco, and those hillsides right there. I know it's a moist area usually, but there's always a wildfire that, and the homes there are so densely built. I can't believe they're selling fireworks still. We have some comments from A. Parcell. My cats hide from fireworks. There have been illegal blasts all around pre-holiday. You too, huh? Yeah. Yes, Randy, people are idiots. And yeah, Cosmerica, fireworks mean freedom. I think there are consequences. I mean, I think firefighters are out looking for people who are doing this. And I'd like to think that they're, looking for problems. So I don't know. John says, when I lived in the South, they shot off fireworks for Christmas and New Year's too. Yeah. I agree with you, Mindy. The neighborhood noise is just over. It's over. I don't like it either.
Yeah, there has to be a better way to celebrate in America, Put on the anthem, get your red, white, and blue on.
Square says that public storage fireworks fire on Blossom Hill Road led to the largest illegal fireworks bust in Bay Area history.
Yeah, a lot of people there are out of brick and mortar fireworks stores throughout the country, and I'm sure there's a lot who just buy up hundreds of thousands of fireworks to come back here and just resell it. I'm pretty sure that's a good way to make money. Yeah. Actually, I'm not proud that I shared that. Don't get any ideas, friends.
There's a park here. I live in a zone where every year they send out a piece of paper that says, fireworks are not okay in your area. There's a lot of rolling hills around here. And they say, so you're not allowed to set them off in your neighborhood, but if you have them, take them to this park where your neighbors will be setting off fireworks and you can set them off on the baseball field. Still, I don't think it's okay, but all right. last year we were driving by there, and it looked like a professional fireworks show. There were people shooting things into the air. So, I mean, it's not just, you set down a little sparkler and on the ground it shoots up sparks. These are things flying high into the sky. And I don't think it's a professional show. I think it's just regular people doing it. So,
and I also live in the Rolling Hills section of Union City, so they have it actually in some parts illegal here, but there are legal parts throughout the rest of the city for me also.
John says around here there are people firing off bigger and more fireworks than a lot of city shows, all completely illegal. Knit One Pearl One says it's all fun until the acres burn down. Yeah, cherry bombs no bueno. Calvin says supposedly in San Bruno, you're only supposed to use your fireworks at your house, not at a local parking lot or park with pavement. Nonsense rules. I mean,
the
I don't know.
The unfortunate thing is that the fireworks, actually, those booths that sell fireworks, there's a lot of times it's to raise money for
civic organizations, right?
Exactly. So like a lot of local schools and
Boy Scouts,
choir programs, band programs, athletics, they use it as a way to make money. So there's gonna be another way for them to get money.
There has to be a better way. I mean, wouldn't you buy, like, I don't know, 20 pieces of wrapping paper or candy bars in order to get the fireworks out? I think I would.
Me too.
So fireworks are upon us. I don't know what your plans are for 4th of July, but here at my house, it is cleaning day. July 3rd is a massive cleaning day because my family, we kind of all live in the same town area mostly. And so everybody takes a holiday. So my mom has Christmas, my aunt has Thanksgiving, my sister has Easter type of thing. And because I have a pool, I have 4th of July. So today is the day where there's cleaning going on. Kids are supposed to be cleaning their rooms. If you hear vacuum cleaners on the other side of my office door, when I emerge from this office, there's supposed to be a clean house. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, I'm sure the McAllister kids love this day every time.
They hate it. They hate it.
Every time. They look forward to this day every year.
I apologized already preemptively for being a yelling mom today. If I have to be the yelling mom, I don't want to be. It's July 3rd is not pretty. No, it's ugly. It's an ugly day over here. What are you doing for 4th of July? Right.
I think I have.
Trust me.
A day off from both jobs. I know Mark mentions that I do have 2 jobs, so I have a day off. So I'm gonna enjoy not doing anything. I think I'll be going to a couple of barbecues.
Okay.
And trying to make it home. That's trying to make it home for my dogs, and then the dogs will be in the evening for sure. Like I think around 6 or 7 p.m. I'm gonna load them up, go to Fremont, and then I'm gonna download some shows on my iPad, and I'll just watch some shows and sit in a parking lot somewhere in Fremont. So if you're also with me, I'll see you around.
Well, that sounds exciting, in a parking lot in Fremont. I'm reminded of the Walmart parking lot drop, but I don't go to the Walmart parking lot, whatever you do.
I don't have that drop. Mark has not bestowed that to my collection, so I'm very limited with what I have. But I do have a Rono.
What the hell is going on in the United States of America?
But the thing that's bummer about that is that you're doing that. You're going to the parking lot and hanging out in your car because you're trying to find a quiet place for your animals, right?
I am, and at some point, I'm just so defeated by the whole situation that I get. Excuse me, I can't get more frustrated anymore. Like I've hit a point where I'm like, all right, I found a solution. Load up the dogs, and then we'll have a little play date. So. And
you're out. Yeah, what a bummer. Well, a lot of people traveling for the 4th of July holiday as well. And I don't know if you've seen this story, but there is, and of course, it always happens on Highway 1 in Monterey County. Now we've got another sinkhole causing a full closure of Highway 1 in Monterey County, which, a lot of people want to take the scenic route. A lot of people in the cars traveling. And this is going to be a problem. It is north and southbound Highway 1
in Monterey County is right now closed after a sinkhole opens up in the middle of the road this afternoon. Caltrans crews say both northbound and southbound lanes have been shut down from north of Sand Dollar Beach in Plaskett up to Lucia. There has been no information given on when this road will reopen.
Yeah. So another sinkhole opens on Highway 1. A lot of traffic out there. So as
I mean,
they
it's gonna
say,
even make the traffic on other freeways because of this closure
yeah.
even worse. And someone like me who was thinking of a staycation, I do have the next like a lot of the days off this week. I've been working hard, Kim. So I was thinking like maybe I should go somewhere. Maybe I should fly somewhere. But I'm sure you've had stories with Sky. It's been a nightmare at a lot of airports, and I kind of don't want to deal with that. And then I was like,
Yeah.
maybe I could go to like Big Sur or something as a staycation. Well, the sinkhole has made my.
No,
I mean,
not
obviously I
going
could
there.
avoid it, but like I'd rather not just deal with that either.
You could
So.
join Mark Thompson in Tahoe. I mean, by the
Oh,
time
that's
you get
true.
up there,
Maybe I
he'll
should
probably be
hit
gone.
the Red Jack and
There you go.
Tenuta and do the same exact Thompson trip.
Why not? I do want you to know, and I know you know, Albert, but I want to make sure everyone knows that the Mark Thompson show will be dark for July 4th. So we will be off, not doing a show. Same for the Nikki Medora show as well. I know we're taking that time off, enjoying the clean house, and Albert has a parking lot to find. There's big things afoot here. It is, though, of course, July. Today, July 3rd, the big cleaning day over here. But on July 1st, a lot of new laws kicked in. And before we get to the news, I thought maybe we could talk about what they are. Starting on July 1st, there is a fur ban. There is a new state holiday, and Californians can now sue gun makers. We will now allow private citizens to file civil lawsuits against the gun industry for the manufacturing or sale of illegal firearms. That includes assault rifles here in California. It also tightens restrictions on the advertising and marketing of guns and gun parts in California. The law is currently being challenged in court by the gun industry and the National Shooting Sports Foundation. But as of now, you can file civil lawsuit against the gun industry, gun manufacturer. They say the lawmakers that passed the bill, Assemblymember Phil Ting, said gun violence is now the leading cause of death among kids and teens in the United States, surpassing car accidents. He says, I see no better argument for stronger gun safety legislation, and I thank the governor for signing this bill. So there's that. There's another law. They're trying to crack down on these big online retail theft rings. They are supposed to make it harder. This law is supposed to make it harder for third-party sellers to sell the stuff that they ran into CVS or Walgreens or whatever and ripped off.
Or
So,
like your car, your car that's just parked in downtown.
yes, they say high volume third-party sellers will now be required to disclose bank account details and their names to online marketplaces. So you see, now they're going to know who you are making all these big sales. Yeah.
Yeah, especially for this happens to a lot of photographers too. They go to like Palace of Fine Arts, they leave their stuff in the car, it gets broken into. So
yeah,
hopefully this helps.
I mean, maybe to sell those big things online. I think this is more for high volume. Like, why do you have 30 bottles of the same shampoo? But I mean, it could make a difference here too. We'll see. The other rule that goes along with the Senate bill is that the sellers will also have to share their physical address with customers. So even if we're going to meet in some shady parking lot or in front of the police station, I guess you still have to share an address. So you're easier to track down and find. Yeah. Licensing bounty hunters, another new law that kicked in on July 1st. Yes. This is bail fugitive recovery agents, more commonly known as bounty hunters, will have to now become licensed in the state of California. I can't believe they didn't already have to have a license. The bill coming after allegations in recent years against those in this profession, including burglary, robbery, even homicide. The office of the bill's author, California Assemblymember Reggie Jones Sawyer, says a bounty hunter's strong financial incentive to capture and return bail skippers, combined with their ability to self-regulate, fails to protect the public from a job that simulates law enforcement and subjects the public to dangerous and traumatizing situations. So before, they had to have a code of standards that were never enforced. There was no agency overseeing it. Now they'll have to be required to be licensed by the California Department of Insurance. So if you're a bounty hunter, look at you. criminals in California who have completed their sentences and have been conviction free for 4 years will now automatically see their criminal records sealed. Yes. This law makes California the first state. Exceptions are made for criminal records involving sex crimes and violent felonies, but conviction histories will still be shared with law enforcement and school districts. Apparently, that's it. California now has the most comprehensive record sealing system in the nation. Millions of Californians will now be able to contribute to the state and its economy, freed from the thousands of counterproductive yet permanent restrictions to opportunity that serve only to destabilize families and undermine safety. I don't know what I think about that. I mean, I guess I feel you paid your time, but part of being a criminal is the fact that when you do something like that, you know it's going to follow you for the rest of your days. That, you know, you've done this thing, and if someone's going to hire you to say, I don't know, sell sweaters, shouldn't they know that you have a history of sticky fingers in the cash register? Shouldn't they know that you had an incident where you broke into a bank and tried to rob it? Maybe that's a violent.
There has to be,
that might be a violent.
There's a reason
law.
why we don't do some certain things, right?
Yeah.
Or you shouldn't do things because there's a risk there, right?
I'm kind of torn though, Albert, because also, if these records follow you, then you can't ever really get back on your feet and become a contributing member of society, which is not what we want either. So, I mean, on one hand, I don't want to go light on people that have these records, but on the other hand, I mean, other people deserve to know too, to protect themselves. So
it could be a case-by-case basis, and it depends on the severity of it. And also, maybe we should just give them a chance in the workplace, even a chance for an interview. There has to be like some middle ground for these people to not kind of be like, of course, we all make mistakes, and you could all grow from it. Not everyone is always going to be a criminal. Maybe they just did one criminal act, so it's hard to say.
I think I would have gone longer. So they say, and again, there's exceptions for if you have sex crimes or violent felonies, then this doesn't apply. But they say that if you served your sentence for any crimes other than the sex crimes or violent felonies, and you're conviction free for 4 years, that now your criminal records are automatically sealed. But I think I would have gone longer. I don't think 4 years is long enough. I might have gone 10 years. I mean, 4 years is maybe sometimes you don't get caught in 4 years, but you're going to get caught in 10.
That's true. Yeah. Maybe it depends how long you were in prison for, or there's got to be a way to do it. There's the Olympics every 4 years, so it sounds weird.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this one.
We'll just have to see how it plays out. Maybe we'll have to talk about this later in a future Mark Thompson show on how well this is going in a law and disorder. Somebody who got their
records sealed.
Their records sealed.
12 from the Bay says, committing a crime isn't a mistake, it's a choice. Yes. I'm not going to argue with you. Katie Lynch says, given the exceptions for violent acts and sex offenses, I think it's an excellent idea. I'm with you. I understand your line of reasoning there. I just have a bunch of buts and what ifs, Dillette says animal abusers should be tortured forever. I'd like to think that's a violent crime. That if you hurt an animal or a human, that would be a violent crime. But I don't know how it's classified. Yeah, Vicky says child abusers too. And what it said, Vicky, was sex crimes, not necessarily, or violent crimes. So, if you've beaten your children, maybe that would follow you. Does the 4 years count while you're in prison? I don't think so. I think it's recidivism. So after you get out, if you're 4 years after you get out and maybe you're on parole, then you haven't, then you get the criminal record sealed. DUI is on the record longer than that. Well, not anymore, unless you get charged with a violent felony like a manslaughter or something, maybe if you were drunk driving and hurt someone. Otherwise...
Well, I'd hope DUI people stays on the record. Yeah. I'd hope, because that's really dangerous. That's like a possibility of you could be a murderer,
Well, yeah. Lori writes, it seems ridiculous that I have had to put in 20 years after the fact for a one-off incident, no jail time, but fines, program, and community services. And probably it totally affected your life too. I know someone who was pulled over for drunk driving in college, and that was pled down to a wet reckless. No, I'm not asking for a friend, and no, it wasn't me. I've actually never committed this crime. But it was a wet reckless, which I guess is less penalty than drunk driving. And she doesn't have to go to jail or anything, but she pays a stiff fine. Her insurance goes up. And then I want to say 7 years later, she's married and has her first kid and wants to volunteer at her child's preschool. And they run her record and they find out that she had this charge. And they say, no, thank you. We can't have you as a volunteer here. I mean, at this point in her life, it was a, as Lori said, a one-off situation. It was not as,
I mean, college,
yeah.
That's probably a while ago.
Not that I ever want to make excuses for drunk driving or the fact that something really awful could have happened, even though it didn't. And I guess maybe it's hard to know who's the alcoholic that has the problem that's going to keep committing these offenses and who's the person that it happened to once by accident, one too many margaritas, and now they never drink again if they're anywhere near a car. So I guess in that case it would have worked for her. Vilma writing, it's not a matter of sealing criminal records. If you made a mistake when you were 20 and now you're 25 and conviction free, you should be given a chance. Yeah. I'm not saying I'm wholesome huge in Japan. I make mistakes too. I just haven't made that particular mistake. Vicky says, I'm glad schools are careful about carpool drivers. In this case, though, Vicky, it wasn't a carpool driving situation. It was just a volunteer in the preschool classroom situation. So they're, very particular about what adults they let into the preschool classroom. I have to put it on for every teaching related position. Mine was after a year-long medical treatment and miscalculated my resistance after a year of chemo and no drinking. Oh, I'm sorry, Lori. Yeah. See, and in your situation, you've got, I would call that an accident, like not understanding how your body reacts to things anymore, and now here you are, a magnificent teacher, a brilliant woman, and you've got this blot. So there's two situations that we've just mentioned where this would be a great thing for people. So yeah. Same thing with my friend, humiliating, like mortified, would never, ever want to hurt anyone, never would want to drunk drive and never will again, never has. And yeah, Maude, I've known too many chronic alcoholics that have driven while drunk. And that's the thing is when you see people in the news over and over again, and they're like, this is their 7th DUI. What? 7th DUI? How's that even possible? How is that allowed? Take their driver's license away. No more car, nothing. Yeah. A lot of employees will always ask have you ever been convicted of a crime? A lot of employers, yeah. If there's this form usually, right? If you ever fill out an application, have you ever been convicted of a felony? At least I think that's a felony they ask about it. I don't know. Well, I guess now you could lie if you've served your time, if you've done your thing, if it's not a violent felony or a sex crime, because 4 years after and you're still clean, then.
Or you can do a George Santos in between those 4 years and just totally fudge the whole thing,
Just lie.
No, I'm not a criminal.
Yeah. Perry Joe Jim
Bob. They don't do a background check.
He thinks California liberals coddle criminals. Okay. I don't know. I mean, I hope not. I would call myself a liberal.
You're thinking that we should go a little harder on this too.
Yeah, so. I don't want to coddle criminals, but I also I want us to understand the difference between someone who had an accident or made a mistake one time and someone who served time for something pretty serious.
Yeah, there has to be a way for, I don't know. We had to take this seriously, but we had to reintroduce them. It's kind of like the whole Steph Curry, like, oh, they're okay with the homeless housing, except if it's in my city. It's going to bring crime to my city. So it feels like, I'm okay with it unless they're working with me type of thing. I'm not assuming, but I feel like this is one of those instances as well. It's like, yeah, we need something for them, but also I don't want them to work with me.
Well, new law, so there we go. Yeah. All right, Albert, let's do some news, and then I think we're going to do some stories from the sky. As a matter of fact, Mark Thompson's been sending me stories from the sky stories all weekend long.
All weekend long up until the start of the show. So
yes, I'm like, are you not on vacation, dude? Come on. All right, let's do a little newsy.
The Mark Thompson Show.
On the Mark Thompson Show, I'm Kim McAllister, and this report is sponsored by the lovely people at Tenuta Vineyards. So let's talk about citizen confidence in the United States and in the UK. A new survey shows people in the US and the UK don't have much confidence in their governments. A Gallup poll finding just 31% of adults in the US are confident in their government, compared to 33% who said the same in the United Kingdom. The confidence scores are the lowest among the G7 countries, and Germany was at the top of the list, leading industrial nations with 61% confidence. Doing pretty well in Germany. The United States recommending Americans reconsider traveling to China. The State Department, in an updated advisory, says there's a risk of wrongful detention and that U.S. citizens could be detained without access to U.S. consular services or information about their alleged crime. Americans are also warned against using drugs or on or prior to arriving in China, and against participating in demonstrations or protests. Well, that one you'd think would be a given. The advisory comes amid rising tensions between America and China. So I guess it's kind of like Russia, another situation where if they see an American, they can put you right in jail and pretend that you did something wrong. Tesla deliveries are on the rise. More people are buying the Tesla. Deliveries up 83% this year compared to the same quarter last year. In 2023, the automaker delivered more than 466,000 vehicles between April and June, compared to just under 255,000 last year during the same period. The new numbers bring the total number of cars Tesla has produced this year to about 900,000. That crushed expectations after the company announced price cuts on its cars earlier in the year. So Tesla doing pretty well. Of course, we were talking about fireworks just ahead of the 4th of July holiday. An industry group projects sales of fireworks will top $2.4 billion in the United States this year. Albert, that's why. It's all about the money, right? The American Pyrotechnics Association says consumer fireworks retailers expect sales to increase by $100 million in 2023. According to a release from the APA, the American Pyrotechnics Association, fireworks are as American as baseball, hot dogs, and apple pie. It also urged everyone to only buy legal fireworks and warned about safety as the holiday weekend gets underway.
What the hell is going on in the United States of America?
Well, how about over in Vietnam, where they're banning the Barbie movie over a map of the South China Sea in a scene. Chinese maps show a U-shaped 9-dash line to represent its claim over large parts of the sea, including parts of Vietnam considers to be theirs. This highly anticipated star-studded movie, Barbie, is only the latest to be banned for this reason in Vietnam, following the animated film Abominable, action movie Uncharted, and Australian drama Pine Gap, all in the last 5 years. The Barbie movie, starring Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling, was originally going to be released on July 21st in Vietnam. Because of this map, it's a no-go.
Well, what's up with the maps? Just get the maps out of the movies. I feel like 3 movies that have been banned.
Make up a fake sea, right? Like, I don't know. Why do you have to make it that sea?
And that South China Sea very, very highly contentious in that area. The Philippines included. So
right. So just don't do it, right?
Yeah.
Big Powerball jackpot. Are you a lottery player, Albert?
I from time to time, yes.
Okay. Well, tonight when you're driving around and you're looking for your parking lot and you see the lottery sign, I think it might be the time to jump on it, because the Powerball jackpot is now over $500 million.
What?
I'm not. Yeah, tonight's jackpot in the multi-state lottery game worth $522 million. As for Tuesday's Mega Millions, it's worth $400 million. So those, they're growing. These jackpots are growing. I think maybe it's time to go for it.
If I ever leave the show, Kim, you'll know why.
This is it. God, what is it?
I will ghost the show. I'll ghost you and Mark, and then you'll just have to find out that I won through the news, and then you'll have to talk about it on the Mark Thompson show.
No. You don't want the news to know. You don't want everyone to know.
That's
you
true. That is true.
Before you cash in your ticket,
do the whole stay anonymous, but keep on buying up LA properties like that one.
That one guy. Yeah. No, the smart way to do it, I understand, because so many people have thought this through, like they're ever actually going to win the lottery, is to form an LLC and keep your name off of it. So no one knows that you're the one who actually got the $500 million or whatever it is. Yeah. That's the way to do it.
That's not fake. That's real.
And then you go about the business of buying up your property under this assumed company name. We got it all mapped out for you. This report is sponsored by Tenuta Vineyards. At Tenuta Vineyards, there's an exclusive deal for you. And if you haven't taken advantage of it yet, you really should. You've got the Why Are You Yelling Red, the Hey, which one of you is Mark Thompson Pinot Grigio, both excellent. And they're so friendly and they're so kind. Mark and Courtney were just there, had a blast getting to know the folks at the winery, Rich and Nancy, walking around the property. And it's true, their motto is give us 30 minutes and we'll be friends for life. We have a special deal just for you. I don't think they have this deal with anybody else, just us. Mark Thompson Show special. You get 10% off at Tenuta Winery. All you have to do is call
with your iron rod.
Call them and say that. Smash it with your iron rod, and you get the deal. Rich is at 925-699-4576. 925-699-4576. Or you can check the website out as well. Tenuta. It's TENUTA. And here's the website address. It's tenutawinery.com. I'm Kim McAllister, and this is The Mark Thompson Show.
The Mark Thompson Show.
Smash it with your iron rod. Who's Mark Thompson?
Hey, which one of you is Mark Thompson?
What he's got going here is a situation.
It's unbelievably offensive.
Put up your pants, my man. Pull up those pants.
Ralph Nader just sent me a book. Did he send you one too?
I offer this sincere apology to you today.
Everything is going extremely well.
Calling me a liar? Now what you calling me?
You, sir, are a liar.
You are a cover-up artist, and you are a liar.
Liar, your pants are on fire!
Google told me.
Can you let him finish, sir? It was wrong, it was stupid, and I'm trying to be a better person.
No.
I'm going to tell you what I think.
What are the porn stars doing?
Do you have a secret now?
Doesn't anybody better weed?
100% effective. How about that?
Say what?
And this is their new host.
There is no defense for my conduct.
I misspoke. I stand corrected.
And I wanted to apologize to the Asian community, the Asian American community.
Time's up, mother effers.
It is the Mark Thompson Show, and we're going to do some stories from the sky. Before we do, though, I wanted to say an extreme thank you to Gail Guthrie, who slapped down a $20 super sticker. And
Thank you.
Thank you. Happy birthday, America. Happy 4th of July. You know who else has a birthday on the 4th of July? Is former fabulous producer, John Daly, has a birthday tomorrow.
What?
So we're going to be dark tomorrow, but an early happy birthday to John Daly, and recognize that it's his birthday and America's birthday. So, two great things at once there.
John Daly shares his birthday with a bigger birthday. He also shares a name with a very famous golfer too. So everything in his life seems kind of shared.
Yeah, it is kind of nothing just for him, his very own, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's do some stories from the sky.
We have clearance, Clarence.
Roger, Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Enough is enough! I have had it with these monkey fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane! Everybody strap in!
This is exciting. I'll let you cue up the video, Albert, but for the first time, the future is here. The Jetsons have arrived. We've got the FAA certifying for testing this vehicle that a California startup describes as a flying car. It is the first fully electric vehicle that can both fly and travel on roads that has received U.S. government approval. I'm not even kidding. Here we
This
have
is what
it.
we need, Kim. We need this. We need less robots. Less of those robots. I don't care.
Less robots, more flying cars.
Less robots, more flying cars. We
That's
need to
right.
we need to refocus our energy, MIT. Please. I'm tired of seeing those robots.
This is LF, ALEF Automotive, and they say their vehicle aircraft, dubbed the Model A, is the first flying vehicle that is drivable on public roads, able to park like a normal car. It also has vertical takeoff and landing capabilities. It's apparently able to carry 1 or 2 occupants. It will have a road range of 200 miles and a flying range of 110 miles. It's not cheap. It's not cheap. Let's watch the video, then I'll tell you how much it will
The future
set you
of
back.
transportation, education, and even pets, all on display here at the 2023 Beyond Expo.
I'm going to try a fist bump. Here we go. Pound it. Oh, you're so
Okay,
great.
I'm not cool with that, Kim.
Yeah,
Held in May 2023, the expo provides a global stage for Asia's
we have
tech
normal
giants
pets
and
for being
startups
for pets.
to showcase their latest innovations here in their own backyard.
Hundreds of
I guess
exhibitors
it's just
from
a run, but
across
here
the tech sector travel here to Macau.
The beginning
Yeah.
of the video is the car.
There's the car. Okay, there it is. So it's cool looking, right?
It's cool
I mean,
looking, but totally disregard the whole DUI conversation we had prior. Let's get these launched first, and then we'll figure out all the other stuff after.
I'm telling you. I mean, it's neat looking. And so yeah, it's supposed to be $300,000. The first delivery projected by the end of 2025. So
you could win you could buy a couple of those if you win the lottery. So
I
it's,
guess
not too bad.
it's not priced for most of us to be able to afford one. If you've ever been stuck in traffic thinking, God, why can't they make a car that can just fly so I could just fly over all these people and get out of this situation? Then I'm sorry. It's still $300,000 and only the rich will be able to fly off and avoid the traffic. But I mean, for the first ones to come out, all electric, flying, driving, everything, I guess $300,000 doesn't seem like it's not astronomical. I think when Tesla came out, all the Teslas were, over $100,000, and now you've seen the price come down where they're more affordable for people who are buying a car. You can buy a gasoline car, like a giant gas guzzling SUV for the same or less or for more than Teslas are charging. If I can speak English anymore, it evades me. The FAA confirming it has issued the company a special airworthiness certificate for limited purposes that include exhibition, research, and development. But LF Automotive in California is not the only company working on this. There are a bunch of them. They're called VTOLs, Vehicle Takeoff and Landing Aircraft, VTOL, VTOLs. The FAA said LF is not the first aircraft of its kind to get special airworthiness certificates. However, LF noted that its vehicle is different because of its ability to both function on roads and in the air, to appear like a normal car, and to park in a parking place. It is, this thing is funky looking. I don't think, if I saw this in oh, here it is. Okay. Are we going to see it take off here? That doesn't look like it's a normal car, though.
No,
Does
it doesn't. This is an Aska A5E VTOL drive and fly vehicle. It looks like it's about to take off here. I mean, that's already like 3 or 4 parking spaces, I feel like.
It looks more helicopter-y. Is this the LF vehicle?
No, this is a different one. I was just
Okay.
looking up VTOLs, so but
That's
this is a
cool.
drive and fly vehicle. Let me look for the other one.
I would take that. I mean, that's kind of cool still.
I mean, this one looks too plain looking. If you feel like it's not car, like a car, a flying car.
Yeah, that's more helicopter-ish in appearance, I would say. I'm trying to get the picture to show you guys. Okay, so here is what it looks like. This isn't a video though, Albert. This is just a still. Look at that. I mean, that is the future looking like, isn't it? The future car,
Yeah,
like
that looks like a
space
car.
age, Jetsons looking. It's got all these lights all over it. I mean, that's funky.
Yeah, all the videos I have are just renderings of it. I don't think there's any footage of this thing taking flight.
So here
At
we
least
go.
not
The
that I've
LF
found.
flying car. We are ready to go for it. All right, let's move on. I think this is super cool though, I have to tell you. I guess United is not good enough for its CEO. Did you hear this story, Albert?
I did see this. Yeah, this is kind of a crazy story.
So there's like hundreds of, if not thousands of passengers stuck because United Airlines had to cancel their flights. It was weather related. Maybe they couldn't get around it.
Weather related, and this guy Scott Kirby is the guy you're about to talk about. He actually did mention that the FAA kind of let down the airline, saying that they failed them because they were just not enough air traffic controllers staffed to handle the amount of flights that were coming in. So it was like kind of like a ripple effect. So a lot of people in United's hubs like San Francisco, Denver, LA, Chicago, and Newark have been affected by this, including him, right?
Yeah. My daughter was affected, was on United, and then they had to send all the kids to a hotel from the Washington, D.C. trip because the flight was delayed more than 13 hours. Actually, I think 17 hours. Well, this is an extreme case of I'm not like you kind of arrogance. The United CEO, Scott Kirby, hopped a private plane to get out of the New York area earlier this week while thousands of United passengers were stranded.
I'm sorry.
Because so many flights were canceled. My bad indeed. And boy, was he
It was
called
wrong,
out
it was
for
stupid, and I'm trying to be a better person.
He says taking a private jet was the wrong decision because it was insensitive to our customers who were waiting to get home. I sincerely apologize to our customers and our team members who have been working around the clock for several days, often through severe weather, to take care of our customers. He concluded by promising to better demonstrate my respect for the dedication of our team members and the loyalty of our customers. Yeah. Okay. He caught this private flight from New Jersey to Denver Wednesday. It's the same day that United had to cancel 750 flights. That was 1/4 of its flights scheduled for that day.
What?
They've canceled nearly 3,000 flights this week, and honestly, I don't fault them. I mean, it's weather delays, it's all kinds of stuff going on, right? There was a shortage of air traffic controllers, Kirby said. The FAA has failed us by reducing the rate at which planes can arrive and depart at the airport where United is the dominant carrier. The canceled flights left United planes and crews out of position, hobbling the airlines when bad weather hit. Because, they fly into one airport. This is what happened to my daughter. They were supposed to fly a plane into the Dulles airport, but because that plane never arrived, the people that were scheduled to get on it to go somewhere else
Yeah, and it, ripple effect throughout the whole country.
Yeah, so it's
lots
a
of
bummer.
people stranded.
But it's not a bummer for Scott Kirby, who was just able to hop on a private jet and fly away, no problemo.
I mean, must be nice, Kim.
It must be nice.
Well, I can't take my commercial flight. Let me just take this PJ real quick and make it home.
And he's probably done this so many times, and now getting caught for it. And now it's my bad. I'm sorry. Unions
I really
representing
feel for his staff. So a lot of his staff is having to deal with these problems, and he's here going home, and a lot of these people are working hours and hours
Yeah.
dealing with these very frustrated, understandably frustrated people. So
Yeah.
for
And that's
like
what the unions are saying. The unions representing pilots and flight attendants are joining the criticism, accusing United management of poor planning, a lack of crew schedulers, and operating too many flights. So, yeah.
That's basically biting off a lot more than you could chew. That in one very nicely written sentence by a union.
That is a bad look for Scott Kirby. That is a bad look. Yeah. There's another story. Yeah. Another story about this situation at an airport. This didn't happen on a plane. And they have them at SFO, those people movers, where you get on and it's not like an escalator going up. It's just, I guess to ease your long walk, you get on and it's like a flat escalator.
Like a walk. It's like a walkway shortcut.
Yeah, like I call them people movers, but maybe there's a different name for them.
The ground moves for you.
The ground moves for you, and it's kind of a weird situation, or weird sensation when you step off of it because you feel like you're still somehow supposed to be moving. But there's a woman who was severely injured on a people mover.
What?
And here's what they look like. So let me show you a picture of the people mover.
I got it, Kim. Don't worry about it. I got it. I will pull this up.
That's what I've got. I've got a photo up there. So that's what it looks like. This is the people mover, and this woman was on it in the Thai airport, and she's 57. She was due to board a morning flight from Bangkok's Don Mueang Airport to the another province in Thailand, when she was caught by the walkway in the airport's Terminal 2.
Oh,
the medical team had to cut her left leg off from above the knee. So she has her leg amputated by whatever mishap befell her on this people mover. I mean, I've been on these before, and I can't imagine how this could happen.
This is why people are afraid of escalators too.
I
this
guess
type of
so.
thing. You never think that the flat one would get you, but dang, that is very, very
brutal.
I mean, she got amputated in public too. Like
Ooh. The airport will be fully responsible for the woman's medical costs, and they'll be open to negotiation for other compensations. The medical team at the hospital said the woman was sent to the hospital. They tried to reattach her leg, but they couldn't do it. She requested to be transferred to another hospital that she thought might be better, and they assessed the situation. They couldn't do it either.
That's not fake. That's real.
Images shared online showed the lower part of this woman's leg trapped beneath the belt at the end of the walkway as she was being assisted by airport staff. Her suitcase lying near her, missing 2 wheels, and the yellow comb-like plates at the end, where you step off, were seen broken off from where they typically cover the edge of the belt where the moving walkway ends. So I guess that little plate that covers the end of where the walkway turns back under itself came off, and her leg was trapped in there. The airport saying it's unclear that the suitcase wheels were found under the belt, but it's unclear how that might be related to the accident. Walkways at the airport, they say, are checked daily with additional monthly inspections. That walkway is closed. A team of engineers inspecting it to figure out what the cause is. It was manufactured by Hitachi, which is a Japanese company, and it's been there since 1996. There's no plan, they say, or there is a plan to request a budget change for a newer walkway model for 2025. So what, just an old walkway? That's the blame? Yeah. What a horrible thing, though. Be careful on those walkways, people.
Yeah, that is terrible.
I mean, I always thought those walkways are kind of cool. I'm like, I could just stand here for a minute. Of course, there's always somebody trying to speed walk down those things to get somewhere even faster.
Yeah, you got to stay on the right side, or at least one side. Yeah, the right side, so you can
slower traffic. Stay to the right.
Like
people are moving.
Yeah,
but then everyone's got their suitcases. They're rolling their suitcase on that thing, and you're trying to squeeze up to the glass, and finally you just end up walking down it anyway.
They're never wide enough, and they're bumping shoulders with you, and they're trying to make their flight that they're late for.
Yeah. Okay, so here's another non-plane related story. It's more of an airport related story.
Will their legs stay on, Kim, for this next story?
Yes, there's no amputations in this. Whoops, we're clicking, click. No amputations in this one, but there's a guy who's so unhappy at home, was so unhappy at home, that he moved to the airport. He lived in the airport for how many years, Albert?
Well, I saw the story. I wish I did.
15 years. Sorry.
I could have guessed.
15 years. This Chinese man has lived in an airport for 15 years so he can get away from his family. And I mean, how bad does it have to be, honestly? How many bad life choices have you made that this is the way it is? So yeah, he's just miserable.
Yeah, I think I found a story. So we have some more details to this.
Oh, please.
Check our private chat. He has been living at the Beijing airport for 14 years. I think this is for March 2022. So it has been one more year. So 15 years. He said he left home because his family told him to quit drinking and smoking. Wow. Yeah. So he really put his foot down. Did not want to quit his activities here, and just decided to live in his.
This man is in his 60s. Wei Jingguo. He's in his 60s. He has a setup of food, belongings, and a sleeping bag in the waiting area. And you wonder why no one has called security in all this time.
There's never been anything like this.
His solution was to leave home when his family was overbearing, and because they didn't want him to drink and smoke, and move to the Beijing Capital International Airport. He can smoke and drink there as much as he likes. There's nobody going nag, yip, yip, yip. He's fine.
In 2018, he told China Daily, "I can't go back home because I have no freedom there. My family told me if I wanted to stay, I had to quit smoking and drinking."
God, I mean, but we have to show the picture of all the stuff. I mean, I can't believe they allow him to stay there like that. I mean, it's shocking to me. There must be some rule that you can't just permanently camp
like
out
squat
at the airport.
in the airport.
Yeah,
I mean, know what security's doing over there.
I would assume that if I wanted to live at SFO, come on, that they would say, "I'm sorry, do you have a flight that you're trying to catch? Do you?" Or if it's because it's a public area, look at all the stuff. I mean, he's taking up all the seats with all of his food and his stuff.
He looks like he's lived in the airport for 15 years.
He does. He looks a little
the look
raggedy.
Of a man who's been not having a normal usable bathroom with a shower, you know?
Gosh. Yeah, look at all that spread out all over the place. He said he will never return home because then he will be forced to quit drinking and smoking, a habit he supplies with his monthly government allowance. I can't go back home. I have no freedom there. If I couldn't do that, if I did the smoking and didn't do the smoking and the drinking, then I would have to give them, my family, all my monthly government allowance of 1,000 yuan. But then how would I buy my cigarettes or alcohol, he says.
Maybe you should save that money to get an apartment, Kim. You know, save all that. He's 15 years of whatever allowance or money he was getting. He could have just lived in a normal place.
Right?
Instead of squatting
clearly,
in an airport.
We have a serious issue here, right? 12 miles. People. The house is 12 miles away from the airport. He moved in 2008. He's been living in Terminal 2, which is the warmest, but sometimes he frequents Terminal 3. So he does move around the airport a bit. He doesn't like to leave the airport because he doesn't like to be cold. So he likes to just stay in there. Airport staff calls him harmless, even though they say he is a loud drunk. One worker said that Mr. Wei has been encouraged to leave a few times, but every time we mention it, he's drunk and loses his temper.
That's a great way to keep yourself in one place, I guess.
Right? I mean, you get to stay because you're angry. You're an angry drunk. I can't believe they don't have 2 security guards, one on each arm, pick this guy up and chuck him out of the airport. But, Albert, Mr. Wei is not the airport's only resident. As many as 6 people are thought to be living in the airport just like him.
There's never been anything like this.
Notorious for blasting Chinese opera music from his radio. There's another guy who is Iranian Mehran Nassiri, who lived in Terminal 1 of the Paris Charles de Gaulle airport for 18 years, from 1988 to 2006, when he had to go to the hospital. I don't understand how this is allowed. French authority refused his entry, leaving him stuck in that airport terminal. So he just stayed there. It's crazy.
I mean, I don't even know how they could stay so long. We got to blame that movie, Kim, the Terminal with Tom Hanks. I think that's a major inspiration for these folk, because I don't know who would want to live in an airport, or well, maybe they just learn that the possibilities are true, like, or you could get away with it, I guess.
I guess you can. It's a public place, so I guess they can't ask you to leave. Like it's a public.
I know
park
SFO
bench.
kicks a lot of people out if they do see people. I don't want to say homeless people, but if they see somebody just kind of loitering around, they'll ask to see their boarding pass, and then they'll just tell them to keep moving. You know.
I mean, I can't wait to get out of the airport terminal. I can't get out of there fast enough. And these guys,
there's too much anxiety in the airport. Kim.
Living
there's
in there for years.
Who are nervous. A lot of nervous energy in the airport. A lot of stressed out energy in airports.
I wonder how he gets his monthly government stipend. Like, must be deposited to a debit card or something, because you can't get mail at the airport.
Does he just send it to the airport?
Yeah. Please send this to United
Terminal
Terminal
2, please, at the airport.
That's crazy. I can't imagine living like that. At the Los Angeles International Airport, an incident where 2 pilots and 4 flight attendants from Delta Airlines reported feeling sick on Saturday. They were trying to depart from Los Angeles International Airport. The 6 crew members were standing on a jetway when the firefighters had to be called. They were complaining of headaches after noticing an odor that might have been aircraft exhaust. The odor dissipated upon airline ground crew and LAFD arrival, fire department. They examined the aircraft cabin and the cockpit with specialized instruments, found no environmental hazards, but the 5 crew members had to go to the hospital to be observed. One of them, the 6, didn't want to go, so they didn't.
It's a combination of fumes and the LA, that beautiful LA air.
Smog. That's what it was.
LAX is probably one of the worst airports to get to, by the way. It's just.
Is it why?
I don't know. It's just it's always under construction,
Mm-hmm.
and then you land somewhere, and then if you take any rideshare out of the airport, you got to take a shuttle to the rideshare. It's just a long process to get out, and then once you leave it, you're stuck in the LA traffic, which is not fun. So
no, not fun at all.
Always go to Burbank, people.
I know I'm late to news, but I have this last Stories from the Sky story. A small plane crashed into Lake Tahoe, and the passengers aboard the plane were saved by boaters that were in the lake. This happened over this past weekend, the 4th of July weekend. A small fixed-wing airplane crashed into the water in Lake Tahoe's Rubicon Bay. 1 passenger seriously injured in this. Happened on Saturday. The sheriff's department started getting calls about this downed plane at a little after 10 in the morning. The plane's 2 passengers saved by nearby civilians on boats. 1 passenger did suffer a pretty serious head injury, though. This 2-seater airplane is often used as an air taxi. It had already sunk below the surface of the lake by the time authorities arrived. They marked it with the GPS coordinates so the hazmat folks can try to come, make sure nothing bad leaks out of it. No one died in this incident, but they're saying that it's one of the most chaotic weekends of the year, the 4th of July weekend in Lake Tahoe, that traffic is bad. There's staggering amounts of litter, strange behavior. How bizarre.
Yeah, I hate that strange behavior, Kim. I hate my least favorite part of this time of year.
And now I guess the record-breaking amount of snow is limiting where people can go. And I don't think that had anything to do with this plane going into the lake, but that must have been quite a sight.
There's never been anything like this.
Is true. And that is Stories from the Sky.
This has been Stories from the Sky. The captain has turned off the seatbelt sign, and you are now free to move about the cabin.
All right,
yeah,
we are
have
late.
Some special VIPs in our chat. So,
has Mark arrived?
Yeah, he's trying to decide which airport Courtney and he will be moving to.
Oh, I'm going to go. I mean, I think SFO is a little too busy. I think if I had to pick one, I'd go. The Santa Rosa airport's pretty nice. There's wine in there. They have wine stores. It's very close to the wine country. It's not chaotic because it's not a very big airport. I think I'd go small airport.
Oh, I'm opposite. I'm gonna go Singapore. Probably Singapore airport. Singapore's airport is very nice. They're very strict, so I don't think you would be able to live there. But if you could find your way to squat somewhere, maybe somewhere in Asia. Like those Asian airports are insane. Incheon's very nice too.
I do like the Maui airport. Kahului's pretty nice.
Oh, those are nice. It's like open air.
But
it's still closed. It's still closed off, but it's still open air.
Yeah.
You can feel the nature. You can feel the warm weather.
You can smell the sweet flowers, the plumeria on the trees. I think I'm going home. I'm going Maui. Kahului it is. All right, let's get to the news now on the Mark Thompson Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Shadow Stevens. This is the Mark Thompson Show. Keep it to yourself.
On the Mark Thompson Show, I'm Kim McAllister. Parts of the United States at risk for more severe weather. Ahead of this 4th of July, the National Weather Service issued hazardous weather alerts for more than 100 million Americans during the extended holiday weekend. Heavy rain flooding the streets in Chicago and areas in Kentucky on Sunday as well. In Baltimore, police say they are still searching for suspects in a mass shooting that took place over the weekend. 30 people affected in this one, you guys. The mass shooting at a neighborhood block party just after midnight Sunday left 2 people dead, 28 others injured. Most of the victims were teenagers. Again, 2 dead, 28 wounded in Baltimore. As Mark says, it's the United States of guns. Happy 4th of July to you too. Americans are dealing with issues at airports, as long as you're not living in them, during the long 4th of July weekend. FlightAware reports more than 1,300 flights have been delayed so far today. Just under 100 flights have been canceled across the country as well.
Did you really just do that?
Some well wishes coming in from world leaders. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky wishing the United States a happy birthday ahead of Independence Day. In a Wall Street Journal op-ed, Zelensky praised American exceptionalism and Western ideals of freedom, calling America the example of liberty. He said Ukraine is grateful to the United States for providing support during Russia's invasion of the country. I feel like that was more of a thank you note than it was really a, happy birthday card.
We should send him over some fireworks.
Yeah, we should. Let's ship our fireworks somewhere else. How about that? There is a new study showing which U.S. cities are best for starting a new career. According to Bankrate, the top metro area to begin a career for the new graduating class is Austin, Texas. The study also showed Gen Z has different values that they're looking for in their job search, including flexible work and an employer with values they align with. So it's not all about the paycheck anymore, huh? It's about who's going to let you work from home at least a few days a week and who's not the bad guy. This doesn't happen very often for golfers among us. The PGA Tour announcing its first event in Utah in more than 60 years. The Tour and Black Desert Resort are teaming up for this Black Desert Resort Championship next year. Black Desert Resort is located in Ivins, which I guess is in the southern corner of the state. And I don't know why they stopped doing golf, the PGA Golf Tour in Utah, but I guess it's coming back. So there you go. It is getting more expensive to send a letter. U.S. Postal Service hiking the price of a stamp from 63 cents to 66 cents on July 9th.
What the hell is going on in the United States of America?
One wonders, Ron Owens. This month will mark the 4th price increase in 2 years on forever stamps. And Apple is breaking records. Friday it closed with a $3 trillion market value. Makes it the most valuable company in history.
That's a lot of money, Kim. That seems like a lot of money.
$3 trillion. $3 trillion. Did you were you aware that I don't know. I guess there's something known as hot dog etiquette. I didn't know this. So I had no idea. But I guess there's something known as hot dog
There's never
etiquette.
been anything like this.
Yeah, you can't do certain things. Well, you can, but it's frowned upon, I guess. Mixing your ketchup and mustard, that's a no-go. Of course, sticking your fingers in the bun bag, that's a no-go. There's a whole hot dog etiquette list. So if you're having hot dogs tomorrow, maybe something you ought to look at. The world's oldest newspaper has folded. This is kind of a bummer. Happened late last week. The Australian government shut down the Wiener Zeitung, which had been published in Vienna for more than 300 years. For weeks, the front page had a red number counting down the days until the last edition. On its last day, that's it. On its last day, the front page carried a red number 0. The paper began publishing in 1703 when it was founded by Emperor Leopold I. It was published by the Republic of Austria, and the last fall of the federal government decided the federal government decided that it would be shut down. They didn't give any reason for it. That's it. I know
they do this to me all the time. I don't know what the hell they do it for.
You would think
that was before America, Kim, and all the fireworks and all the shootings. This newspaper was around.
I know, Albert, that you can't wait for the cage match between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, right? I mean, this is going to be a big deal when it happens. Well, now,
I mean, if Elon Musk loses, they should allow you to scroll and look at more than 600 tweets, because that's what happened over the weekend from Elon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they should. Well, Elon Musk is going down if he faces Zuckerberg, but the government of Italy has reportedly contacted Mark Zuckerberg about holding a UFC fight against Elon Musk in the place where gladiators fought, the Colosseum. Woohoo! According to TMZ, sources say Italy's Minister of Culture reached out to Zuckerberg a few days ago about staging the Meta CEO's fight against the Tesla, Twitter, and SpaceX chief in Rome's entry into the 7 wonders of the world. TMZ reports that sources say Zuckerberg and Musk would love to throw down in the Colosseum. Oh my gosh. I'm Kim McAllister.
Well,
and
are they going to have to fight to the death, Kim? Is that if it's in the Coliseum,
bring in the lions, right?
Yeah, bring in the lions.
Are they going to use spears?
We'll have to workshop it. We'll see we'll have the details on the.
I mean, this could be. I think that there's a lot they could do with this. This is true. This is the Mark Thompson Show.
The Mark Thompson Show.
Who's Mark Thompson?
Feels great, baby.
Let me kick down the door and talk to my chief sons and daughters. No context will suffice to explain the hurt and anguish caused by my words. I apologize to all who have been hurt.
I stand corrected. I misspoke. My words upset so many people.
And I wanted to apologize to the Asian community, the Asian American community.
God bless America. The end.
There's never been anything like this.
Do I hit it long? Is Trump strong? Huh?
Who is having that conversation?
It's fantastic.
That's not fake. That's real.
The science is ridiculous.
How would you handle this? We could try ignoring it, sir. If you get it in order, you get extra points.
Listen to me. I don't want to hear you.
You cannot say you love your country.
Where are my weed smokers at?
This is a word from the Lord, and he's not happy.
There is no defense for my conduct. It was wrong, it was stupid, and I'm trying to be a better person.
Don't ever use that word.
You get nothing.
What's a guilty pleasure you have?
Seriously, what the
It is the Mark Thompson Show, and there's a lot of politics to talk about today, too. Before we get to that, though, I do want to thank everyone for helping us fund this show. Of course, it's crowdfunded, and we really do rely on you to help us out. We did get a $20 super sticker from Gail Guthrie and a nice message about the 4th of July. So thank you again to Gail. The super chat is open. You too can send us a super sticker as well. And also themarkthompsonshow.com.
Thank you. Thank you.
TheMarkThompsonShow.com is where you can find the Patreon and the PayPal link to help support the show. So thank you to everyone who does that and supports us in that way and in all the ways that you do. I saw John Daly in the chat. Oh, there it is. Look at that. The Patreon link and the PayPal link. The Get Mark merch link is there too, so you can get your throw pillow.
You can just click there.
The embroidered sweatshirts.
Do the contribute in this section, and you can actually listen to the podcast, the most recent podcast of the show. So this is Friday's show that's on. And
and take us along for the ride. If you can't do the YouTube, do the podcast. So it'll be like old times having us on your car stereo, car radio, I guess, not stereo, right? But again, happy birthday to John Daly. I saw you pop up in the chat. Thank you for being here, and happy early birthday to you. All right, let's talk some politics, Albert. There's a lot of videos, just so you know. I may be calling on you for that, but I was reading this, and it's kind of a bummer to me that this is just coming out in the media, because I feel like I'm hopeful that officials investigating January 6th would have known this. But I apparently Arizona Governor Doug Ducey also got some pressure from former President Trump to overturn the 2020 election results. So former President Donald Trump, this is how the story goes, pressed Arizona Governor Doug Ducey to procure made-up votes that could tip the scales in his favor. This information came out in the Washington Post on Saturday, citing 3 people familiar with the call from Trump to Ducey. The now former president apparently enacting a similar pressure campaign against Georgia Governor Brian Kemp with the order to find votes. That one was recorded, so they knew about that one. The Washington Post report, though, has some new information, kind of sheds some new light on the efforts to overturn, or to try to overturn illegally, President Joe Biden's victory in Arizona. Trump also apparently had Vice President Pence call Ducey. He asked Pence to call to try to coerce him into changing the results of the election there. But Pence says, I didn't do anything illegal. I didn't pressure him. I didn't do that. So yet again, more information, more, I guess I'd call it ammunition for the special prosecutor investigating this case. Ducey was not swayed. In a video from late November of 2020, the governor was seen ignoring a call from Trump. So he's getting ready to give a speech, got a cell phone in his jacket pocket, and you can hear the Hail to the Chief ringtone go off. And Ducey just kind of clicks it off, doesn't answer, ignores it. That is while he was signing documents officially certifying the election results, which showed that Trump lost that state. So, I think there's still a lot to investigate here. I hope they call every single state and are looking into what happened, not just the states that were publicized, because it seems like every time you turn around, somebody else was being pressured, something else happened. And I want them to have all the information. Speaking of former President Trump, he's got this new line. The former Republican National Committee chair calls it an utter BS line in his new speech. But here's what we're going to be hearing over and over again. They want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. That's the new line. They want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. The former RNC chair, Michael Steele, calls it utter BS. He says the allegations against Trump have nothing to do with anyone else's freedom. the 37 count indictment related to the mishandling of documents and classified materials. But I think we're going to be hearing Trump say that. So yeah, don't be misled. Your freedom has nothing to do with it. Here's a story. Michael Imperioli. He came out after the Supreme Court ruling on LGBTQ rights, and the Supreme Court sided with this woman, which I've heard that it's a fake case anyway, really just brought up in order for this ruling to come down. But he says, and he was in what's he been in? He's been White Lotus, The Sopranos, Goodfellas, done a lot of stuff. So he says, Michael Imperioli, I've decided to forbid bigots and homophobes from watching The Sopranos, The White Lotus, Goodfellas, or any other movie or TV show I've been in. Yeah, he said, thank you, Supreme Court, for allowing me to discriminate and exclude those who I don't agree with and I am opposed to. USA, USA. It's funny, I saw a meme floating around after the Supreme Court ruling that said that gay people, and this is kind of generalizing and it's a little bit, I don't know, kind of pigeonholing people that are gay into certain professions. But the meme said that all of the gay hairdressers and designers and caterers and everyone that does the most fabulous things at the top of the craft that are well sought after should ask people when they call, I want you to make my wedding dress, or I want you to do my makeup or my hair, and say, oh, how do you feel about gay people? And then refuse to do their weddings or refuse to do any of their events as well. I mean, you can't get in trouble for it, right? Isn't that what the Supreme Court ruled? It's against their religion too, maybe. Yeah. Another story, this one from CNN, a more reaction to that Supreme Court ruling about the website. And this is from Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, who I think had a pretty interesting response to it. And I think we have video of this, Albert. But he was on CNN on Sunday, and he is not in favor of the Supreme Court's ruling. Let's listen.
Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. Mr. Secretary, thank you so much for joining me this morning. The Supreme Court ruled, as you know, that a Christian web designer is not required to make websites celebrating same-sex weddings due to her religious objections. Justice Neil Gorsuch argued that if the court had ruled the other way, then, quote, governments could force an unwilling Muslim movie director to make a film with a Zionist message. They could compel an atheist muralist to accept a commission celebrating evangelical zeal. And they could require a gay website designer to create websites for a group advocating against same-sex marriage. Is there any merit to that argument?
No, there isn't. And I think it's very revealing that there's no evidence that this web designer was ever even approached by anyone asking for a website for a same-sex wedding. Matter of fact, it appears this web designer only went into the wedding business for the purpose of provoking a case like this. And in that sense, I think there's something in common between this Supreme Court ruling and what we're seeing happening in state legislatures across the country, which is kind of a solution looking for a problem. In other words, sending these kinds of things to the courts and sending these kinds of things to state legislatures for the clear purpose of chipping away at the equality and the rights that have so recently been won in the LGBTQ plus community. And when they're doing that, it's at the expense of so many other issues that Americans are asking for relief and support on, the kinds of economic issues that President Biden was emphasizing in his Bidenomics address about how we keep unemployment so low, how we continue lowering costs for American families. The fact that this was relief from a situation that may have never happened in the first place tells you everything you need to know about this agenda to use every instrument of government, courts and legislatures, to claw back at these rights for people who are just trying to go about their lives and just trying to be treated equally by businesses and by the government.
Mr. Secretary, Ron DeSantis's campaign tweeted a video attacking President Trump for his past support for LGBTQ Americans, touted DeSantis's own record of restricting their rights. I want you to look and listen to just part of that long video.
I cannot think of anything more horrifying.
It really has shut down drag.
Just produced some of the harshest, most draconian laws that literally threaten trans existence.
What's your reaction to that video?
You know, I'm going to choose my words carefully, partly because I'm appearing as secretary, so I can't talk about campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to leave aside the strangeness of trying to prove your manhood by putting up a video that splices images of you in between oiled up shirtless bodybuilders, and just get to the bigger issue that is on my mind whenever I see this stuff in the policy space, which is, again, who are you trying to help? Who are you trying to make better off? And what public policy problems do you get up in the morning thinking about how to solve? You know, we're focused as an administration on how to get things done to make people better off. I spent my week traveling around the country to places that are benefiting from.
That's good. Thank you, Albert. I just wanted to, it was a video that I wanted to show, both videos I wanted to show you, and I didn't break them up, but I think both his responses to both things are really interesting. And the first response to the Supreme Court ruling on the website designer, he talks about how it's a fake case anyway, right? And in the second one, this advertisement, he talks about kind of the, I don't know, you know, me think thou doth protest too much kind of situation. Why are you showing all the bodybuilders? Why are you showing all of this when you're against gay people or you're trying to take away their rights? I think it's an interesting response that he had, and I wanted you to see that this whole DeSantis LGBTQ ad is kind of interesting anyway. The DeSantis campaign was trying to slam former President Trump's past vow to protect the rights of LGBTQ people. But it came at the end of Pride Month, and I find it to be incredibly rude.
This feels like one of those, you know, digging through somebody's Twitter likes just to try to get like an aha, caught you.
It does.
And it's funny because it's happening within the GOP too. And usually they blame the liberals for cancel culture and trying to target and find things to cancel people, right? So this gives off the same energy, which is I know DeSantis has been at odds with Trump for the past months here, so
the video
this is one of those sit back and we'll see how this pans out.
How it pans out. Well, I mean, it's just more of the same from him. The video shows the former President Trump as sympathetic toward transgender rights, features a clip from his acceptance speech at the 2016 Republican convention, just a month after the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando, in which he says, "I will do everything in my power to protect our LGBTQ citizens." So the one time Trump comes out and says something decent, then it's used against him by people who don't want LGBTQ citizens protected? Is that what DeSantis is saying? He doesn't want citizens protected? I mean, because of their sexuality or because of how they identify or whatever else? Okay. I was offended by that whole thing. So thank you, Albert. There is this roller coaster. I don't know if you happen to see this. It's almost time for news, but let me see if I can give you this story. This roller coaster in North Carolina, it's called Fury 325, and it's billed as one of the tallest roller coasters of its kind. And this man is aboard in Charlotte, North Carolina, when he looks over and he sees a big crack in one of the support pillars for the roller coaster. What? Wait a minute. Everybody off immediately. The roller coaster had to be shut down.
There's never been anything like this.
The Carowinds amusement park said it closed the coaster for Fury 325 after park personnel became aware of a crack at the top of a steel support pillar. They're going to keep it closed as they try to make repairs. And they will be investigating what exactly happened here. But this man, Jeremy Wagner, was there at the park with his son and daughter when his son's friend recorded video of this crack. Footage shows the pillar separating briefly at the crack as the roller coaster zips by. Like there's an
60% of the time, it
separation.
Works every time.
Telling you, and I don't know why the roller coaster people didn't know this, why it has to be video taken from a park goer. He said, I was trying to shoot the video. My hands were shaking because I knew how quickly this could turn into something catastrophic. He had just bought his children's season passes for the park. He said he recorded the damage from the parking lot. His 14-year-old daughter had been on that ride 8 times on Friday. 8 times she went on the ride.
What?
Holy mackerel. Yeah. It is one of the main attractions at the Carowinds, carrying dozens of riders, sending them at speeds of up to 95 miles an hour during this 3-minute long ride. They call it the longest giga coaster in North America. Roller coasters with drops of 300 feet to 399 feet are known as giga coasters. Well, Mr. Wagner turned over the footage to park officials before he left on Friday. He says he's thankful they closed it, even though it's their number one attraction at the park. How could they not? The park, though, celebrating its 50th anniversary, that was still open, the park Saturday and Sunday, even though Fury 325 had to be closed down.
It's Albert's fault today.
Can you imagine having your kid on the roller coaster when you see this crack separating at the support?
Oh my gosh,
tower?
that's a terrible sight to see. But also, maybe if it's not your kid, maybe you're just some crazy teenager. It adds to the thrill. You know, you're not thinking at that moment. You're like, oh wow, I survived the roller coaster with the crack in it.
This is a real risk, my friend. I just feel like that someone at the amusement park should be doing regular inspections, and something that egregious where you could film the separation of the support structure from the parking lot should have been caught. Don't you think? I mean, it shouldn't be. I'm glad that someone saw it. Thank God someone's paying attention.
I'm glad
That
we
could
could
have been
not
awful.
like really laugh about it, but I'm glad we could talk about it and not say that there was like an unfortunate event that happened in North Carolina over the
Oh
weekend.
man, exactly. All right, Albert, let's do some news. How about that?
Sounds good. I gotta take that footage off.
I can't do it without the music.
No, that's
Nope.
not the music. That's not the
I'm
music.
not coming
Hold
and going
just
on a
give me one
rainbow.
moment. I'm almost
Nope.
there.
Yep.
Here we go.
Thank you so much. And there it is. It is the Mark Thompson Show. I'm Kim McAllister. Mother Nature putting on some fireworks of her own ahead of the 4th of July. The National Weather Service issuing hazardous weather alerts for more than 100 million Americans during this holiday weekend. Forecasters say thunderstorms are likely across the mid-Atlantic and the northern Great Plains today, along with sizzling temperatures and excessive heat warnings across the South as well. I do want to say my sister was recently in Florida. I think I told you guys, and she was at this hotel where they have fireworks every night. And along with the fireworks were thunderstorms. And she said it was really weird to watch the lightning in the sky light up all the fireworks. So kind of a weird phenomenon. And of course, as we'd mentioned, Americans are still dealing with issues at airports during this 4th of July weekend. More than 1,300 flights now delayed so far today, about 100 canceled across the country as well during this weekend when a record number of people are expected to travel. Mentioned this shooting in Baltimore that affected 30 people, 2 dead, 28 injured. Well, there's a manhunt underway for at least 2 suspects after this mass shooting in Baltimore. Officials are offering $28,000 in reward money for information leading to the arrests. Stocking up on last-minute items for the 4th of July cookout, a bit cheaper this year. According to the American Farm Bureau Federation, families can expect to pay less than $68 to feed a party of 10, down from last year's average of nearly $70 for a dozen items ranging from hot dogs and hamburgers to buns and potato salad and lemonade and chocolate chip cookies. If you have been to the big movies this weekend, Indiana Jones, still, they say, cracking that whip at the box office, despite some lackluster reviews, which is interesting because the reviews I listened to, Michael Snyder and Tim Sika, and they both really liked it. So what do you mean lackluster reviews? But Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny opened this weekend with $60 million in ticket sales at North American theaters. The 5th film in the long-running adventure franchise beat Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which made $11.5 million in its 5th week of release. There is an artist in Arkansas, I would love to see a picture of this, Albert, weaving the world's largest knitted American flag. It's New Yorker Dave Cole, working on this project in Bentonville, plans to finish the flag on Independence Day and then put it on display at the Momentary. I guess this place is called the Momentary. Cole is a contemporary artist known for his patriotic and nostalgic pieces, but this is going to be the world's largest knitted American flag. It's going to be cool looking, I think, but it's probably not going to wave in the wind, or it's going to be kind of heavy and thick. But I think it'll be interesting and a cool piece of art. So I'm not sure if you're finding the picture. Oh, you got it. Okay, let's take a look at it.
I can't find a picture of his flag since it's not finished, but this is him working on it. This is like
okay, so it's like a giant loom.
Yeah, I couldn't find the actual
interesting. Thank you, Albert. Thousands of hotel workers are on strike in Southern California, demanding better pay and benefits as well. Members of Unite Here Local 11 began striking Sunday. More than a dozen hotels throughout Los Angeles and Santa Monica, this after their contract expired over the weekend. And Mexico is blasting Florida's new immigration law backed by Governor Ron DeSantis, who of course is running for president. Mexico's foreign ministry said over the weekend that criminalization is not the way to resolve the phenomenon of undocumented migration. According to DeSantis's website, the law that went into effect on Saturday includes money to move migrants out of Florida. I guess that's more busing, right? Limits access to ID cards and requires more companies to use an electronic system to authenticate a person's eligibility to work here in the United States. So, a new poll is showing that a slight majority of Americans are agreeing with the Supreme Court and their decision to remove race as a factor in college admissions. The ABC News Ipsos poll found 52% in favor of this decision, 32% disapprove of the court's ruling, and 13% were undecided. So that's a slight majority, which is, to me, disappointing, but yeah, that's the way it is. There is a joint operation underway in Florida to try and figure out what is this long green tubular object found by a snorkeler last week. The discovery made in nearly 10 feet of water in the ocean off Palm Beach. Local officials say the U.S. Navy believes it was a military non-explosive training missile, but that hasn't been confirmed. It was later removed and disposed of. But yeah, so interesting snorkeling find. I'm Kim McAllister, and this is The Mark Thompson Show.
The Mark Thompson Show.
Y'all can all go to hell, and I'm going back to Texas.
I misspoke.
And I wanted to apologize to the Asian community, the Asian American community.
Why are you yelling?
It was great. I loved it.
How would you handle this? We could try ignoring it, sir.
They pay me a lot of money for having attitude.
There's never been anything like this.
We've never seen anything like it before.
Nobody has ever put something like this together that I've ever seen.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
There is nothing in our history that quite compares to this.
I think I'm the most honest human being, perhaps, that God ever created.
God bless America. The end.
Someone did this to spoil our Christmas.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Sayonara, sucker!
You know what, Hal? You created havoc and chaos.
I don't think you should apologize for how you feel.
Do I hit it long? Is Trump strong? Huh?
Who is having that conversation?
Kim McAllister in for Mark Thompson today. And yay, I wanted to bring a serious story up because I was looking at this story thinking there's a lot of people that are going to be celebrating tomorrow, going to the beach, going to the river, going to the lakes around the Bay Area, California. And something horrible happened in Mendocino County. But just, so we're all aware, if you're watching this show, if you have family members that are planning to celebrate in waterways, make sure they know state officials have been issuing dire warnings about the summer dangers of California rivers. This is because of our long winter of rain. Our rivers are full and they are icy cold because of the melting snow coming downstream. And this weekend heat wave has even more snow melted in the Sierra, filling up our rivers and streams, which we think is a good thing. But portions of rivers that may have been good, calm swimming holes in the past years may no longer look the same and may now be a very dangerous place to swim. This from Sarah Kennedy, who's a boating education outreach coordinator for California State Parks. And she's telling SF Gate, listen, this is dangerous. A lot of people may have gone to places in the past that have been fine, and now they go and it's not cool. So case in point, this 5-year-old girl who died after being carried away by river waters in Mendocino County. This happened right where the Black Butte and the Eel River combine. This girl carried downstream, and by the time that authorities arrived, the private citizens had already found her and were doing CPR, but she didn't survive. So it's just another warning, and I want to make sure everyone's safe. So please, please, please be careful. That's my mom warning for the day. This next story is for Albert. Albert, I don't know if you heard this one, but John Daly and I were talking about this last night, thinking about you. There's this new ad campaign for the Philippines. And it says, "Love Philippines." I don't know if I have the video for it, but it was put together by this ad agency. And I guess it's supposed to inspire you to want to go to the Philippines and see all the beautiful sights, which I'm sure there are many. Do all the fun things, which I'm sure there are many fun things to do. But instead, they used footage from other countries in the I Love Philippines ad.
Oh my gosh.
So here's what it looks like. Love the Philippines. Yes. And it should have been this, inspirational, let's go do it thing. But I guess they have alpine mountains in the ad. They have camels.
Ooh, it's
and
a
deserts.
wild idea, but it just might work.
No. The Philippine Advertising Agency is issuing an apology after publishing a promotional video composed almost entirely of footage from foreign countries. Wait a minute. That's not an ad for the Philippines.
I support this, Kim. Anything to get people into my country, which I am a dual citizen, Kim. Just like you. Kim, aren't you also a dual citizen?
I am of Luxembourg, yes.
I am a dual citizen too, so this is also my homeland. So, I mean, it's funny because they're using stock footage, which is like, I'm pretty sure there's not a lot of stock footage from the Philippines. But there's a ton of footage. We got a lot going on. ecotourism is one of the best money makers, unfortunately, for the Philippines. So we get people to go to our beaches, go like island hopping. So
but there's
we have so many
beautiful
things to
scenery
do,
in the
but why
Philippines,
did we have
right?
to do this, you know?
Right. I'm flabbergasted. And if the whole point is to show off the country, then why would you want to show off some other country and pass it off as your own? Well,
that does seem very Filipino because also, Kim, we are very good singers, notably, but we're also good at just imitating a lot of the best singers. Like the lead singer of Journey. Yep, the lead singer of Journey is Filipino.
Well, in this ad, my friend, which is supposed to feature the Philippines, you have sweeping vistas of rice paddies in Indonesia, the deserts of the Arab Emirates, and the Zurich airport. The ad company, DDB Philippines, is apologizing
That's
after
not
the
fake.
foreign
That's real.
The foreign stock footage was brought to its attention, describing it as an unfortunate oversight on our agency's part.
That sounds like some lazy. I hate to say it. Comes from a C's get degrees type of person. Well, college B's get degrees for me. But
my computer make this advertisement. I won't.
Yeah, they sounded like they didn't want to grab their own footage, and they're like, let's just put something together.
The Department of Tourism in the Philippines says the use of foreign stock footage in a campaign promoting the Philippines is highly inappropriate and contradictory to the Department of Tourism's objectives. They say they want the originality and ownership of all materials. They want to make sure everything's in order. The Love the Philippines campaign, of course, has been pulled from social media this weekend. The whole thing also, here's another thing. A dad sees the crack in the roller coaster. A Filipino blogger finds the stock footage. So it's a blogger that notices, hey, that doesn't look right. There's no camels in the Philippines. There's no Zurich airport in the Philippines. This isn't right.
I mean, this Love Philippines in this article, it says there were 2.7 million inbound tourists to the Philippines in 2022, but that's down 68% from pre-pandemic levels, according to UN World Tourism Organization data. So, I mean, anything to get people to go to the Philippines, I support, Kim. So this Love Philippines, I do love the Philippines. So I support this ad. I'm just going to go out on a limb, you know.
It's you support the ad featuring video from other countries?
Yes, so we're just trying to get people to our country, Kim.
Is there just not enough good stuff from the Philippines to show off?
Oh no, there's plenty. I'll give you that. There's plenty of.
That's what I'm saying.
An abundance amount that there's enough countries that want our stuff.
Like, don't do an ad for San Francisco and not show us the Golden Gate Bridge and the Bay Bridge, and instead show us, I don't know, pictures of the, Hollywood Walk of Fame. Don't do that. I mean,
that would be funnier, Kim, if they actually did Love Philippines, show the Golden Gate Bridge, show the Hollywood side.
Come on,
that's funny, but I don't know about this one.
The issue here is this video is part of a campaign that launched last month, and it the campaign cost a reported $1.5 million. So they're paying for this lazy, unimaginative work that doesn't even really feature the country. And if I was Filipino, I would be thinking to myself, that's offensive to me, because I know that my country is beautiful and I know that we have things here that people want to come see. So instead of now doing the opposite, which is we have, now people are going to think that the thought might be they have nothing. And so they had to resort to showing us footage of other countries. Why would I want to go there? Well, that does the opposite of what the whole plan is, right? To try to inspire people to come see things.
Yeah, just the Alpine Mountains, probably the most egregious.
That was a little much. The mountains and the camels. Yeah, the Zurich
we do have
airport.
Mountains, but they aren't Alpine mountains.
Yeah, no. This story from this movie set of Rust just keeps kind of going and going and going. The armorer accused of handing off cocaine after the shooting. The armorer for the movie Rust allegedly transferred cocaine to an unnamed person to dispose of evidence on the day of that the film's cinematographer Helena Hutchins was shot. in this case, and that happened in 2021. Special prosecutors said they sought protection for a witness. The armorer is Hannah Gutierrez Reed, who allegedly passed a small bag of cocaine to the witness on the evening of that shooting to prevent law enforcement from obtaining what they call inculpatory evidence directly related to her handling of the firearm.
Yeah, that's a very Hollywood move, Kim.
Here,
take my coke away from me real quick.
I mean, it's like this movie. I'm telling you, like they're, coked up, cutting corners. It seems,
and it's still gonna come out. And I think Mark has been beating this drum this whole time, saying that it should be coming out because this movie people will watch.
It will.
And
they will.
Mark keeps on saying it. People will watch, and it's gonna make money.
If only for the morbidity alone, right?
It's kind of like seeing the train wreck. You kind of know what's gonna happen. You just kind of want to see it.
I wonder if, and they may not have done it, but it seems like everyone involved in the handling of the weapon, there should have been toxicology tests, drug tests run at that moment. So if anybody was coked up or, drunk or whatever it may be, they should have known, regardless of whether you had the stuff on you or not. Gutierrez Reed said she mistakenly loaded a live round into a revolver that actor Alec Baldwin was rehearsing with. And of course, we know cinematographer Helena Hutchins died because of that. Gutierrez Reed is 25 years old, and she has been charged now with an additional charge of tampering with evidence over the alleged transfer of those narcotics. She also faced involuntary manslaughter charges, and she says she plans to plead not guilty to both of those indictments. They say this accusation lacks corroboration or any evidence, that it's full of sound and fury, but signifying nothing. Gutierrez Reed is now the only person that is still facing charges in connection with Hutchins' death. The charges against Baldwin were dismissed. I think he is the producer of this show. So the cutting corners, the everything else, I thought all of that was fair game and may still come to pass in a civil suit. But
I'm glad. Well, this is the appropriate time. I'm glad I don't have it, but this is the time for Mark to hit. Whoever's producing this thing has no idea what they're doing.
And that's the truth. Well, and they didn't have any idea what they were doing, and they were trying to do everything on the cheap, and they were working this people to the bone. But I can't fault Alec Baldwin for firing this weapon if this woman was all coked up. I mean, I don't see how that becomes his fault. Really,
all coked up or not even realizing to be careful, to be like doing their job correctly. I think she literally just had one job to do, and she's just in charge of the weapons. I say that weapons with quotes on set. So
yeah,
it's an unfortunate accident, but I don't know what's gonna happen. She's pleading not guilty, and it's not looking good because it's getting kind of worse.
It is not looking good, and she's 25. I mean, this is gonna be, a big deal for her life.
Do you think she's going to get off in her 4 years, have her criminal record?
I think she will. I think she's done in Hollywood, but I think she will. Okay, I have this last story for you guys that I wanted to show you because we covered the story here on the Mark Thompson Show. Well, this little otter, he's surfing. He's still kind of swimming up to these surfboards. The surfers hop off because they don't, you're not supposed to get too close to the wildlife here. And the otter just takes over the surfboard for a while, hangs out there and whatnot. But the new story is now that this otter is now closely being monitored. Apparently, they know this otter, the animal officials. It is the offspring of another otter that was removed from the wild after exhibiting this aggressive behavior toward people. And that was not this mom otter's fault. It was a result of having been fed by the public. And so she started associating people with food. So this little otter, that was the mom. This is the offspring who was born in captivity under these unusual circumstances.
Wild idea, but it just might work.
Yeah. So she was captured. She underwent evaluation. The mom otter it was determined she wasn't releasable. She gives birth to this pup in captivity, cared for it until weaning, at which time the pup was released into the wild, and the mom was transferred to a facility for long-term care because the mom was a little aggressive. The pup was tagged at release. That's how they know that this is the sea otter pup. And she's been monitored, but didn't really offer any reason for concern until lately. And now she's getting a little too close to people. So here's the plan. And you can see that surfer hopping off the board really fast as the otter hops on. So at this point, the otter isn't really taking any direct action toward people, not being aggressive like the mom, just hopping up on the surfboard and getting way too close for comfort. So what they're going to do is they have a plan with surfers. They say the surfers are not the ones, despite earlier reports, initiating any contact with this animal. That it's not the surfer's fault here. So they're calling on the crowd not to get too close to marine mammals. They're urging people to take steps to keep these animals safe. In this case, the animal seems to be interacting with the board, not the people. So we're trying to hazing to discourage this behavior, they say. The hazing actions include paddling away and splashing water. So if you make it an unpleasant experience for the otter might not want to come.
Oh, Kim, that's way
hop up
too
on your board.
mean. The otters are so cute. You gotta.
Otters are really cute, but they can't have these animals that think people are their friends because it's dangerous for the animal. And also, I mean, it's dangerous for people too, because these are wild animals. They are unpredictable. You don't know what they're going to do. I did this one story in Reading where this teenage girl happened to swim too close to a mom otter and her offspring. Didn't realize that the mother was trying to protect the children and just got too close, and the mom otter attacked, and this girl left the water covered with otter bites. So,
oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these are, again, wild animals. They need to live in their own area. They need to do what otters do. And so this is kind of what happens when people get in their space, right? So they have to figure out a way to make it known that people aren't your friends. And if they do it in a nice way that doesn't hurt the otter, that might actually protect the otter down the line. Does that
this
make
is what
sense?
Mark's gonna. I know if Mark was here, Mark is gonna be. Well, we're the ones encroaching on the otters' areas. So
We are, but it's Santa Cruz. We're not going to stop surfing.
yeah.
So
true.
we have to figure out a way just to get the otter not to want to do this. And it hasn't been a problem in the past.
Just put some extra surfboards in the water. I'm with Anonymous.
Put the otter board up. Yeah.
Like let's tie it to a buoy or something. Let's so it's not just litter, It's like, oh, that's the otter surfboard. Okay.
Maybe put some food on there, a little otter food. No, that's a bad idea. Again, you just want the otter to be on its own, able to survive on its own and thrive. And yeah, but I love this picture with this guy's feet off the end of the board, like couldn't get off that board fast enough when the otter hopped on. I have to say though, despite how awful, I mean, not awful, but how bad it is for the otter, it really is cute seeing the otters ride the surfboard.
Very cute. Otters are my favorite things. The attraction at the Monterey Bay
Monterey
Aquarium. I actually do
Aquarium.
have, with the very limited tweets I do have tweet alerts for Monterey Bay Aquarium's live cams.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Not to say that I was at KGO Station X watching the otter cams during the shows, but they're usually live at 10 a.m. So I probably just put it on in the background and watch otters swim around.
You are hilarious. Okay, this show is over already. Oh no.
Kim, are you excited to check the progress with the cleaning of the house today? Or
I have heard all kinds of thumps and bumps from the walls outside this room.
do they have a time limit on this thing, or you're gonna...
We have all day. The party's not till tomorrow, so they have all day to do it. But I expect some things to be done when I walk into their rooms. Like all the clothes I wash should be put away, not shoved under beds and in closets. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah.
And are you celebrating? So you have family coming over tomorrow? Gonna have
family party. No
Family
fireworks. Although the city of Petaluma does. Last year they did lasers. This year they're doing fireworks. So after we're done with
that sounds like a fun time.
It wasn't. It was, I guess it was really bad.
Oh, okay.
They were trying to be ecologically conscious, right? Like not have all the smoke in the air and all the debris coming down. And so
even just the process after, like, you safely use your fireworks. A lot of the times, like getting rid of the fireworks is where the fires happen. Like, you don't hose them down. you put them in the garbage bin, then your garbage bin catches on fire, and then there's more problems. So,
and there goes your garage. But in this case, the lasers, I guess it was kind of cloudy last year, and the lasers were no go. So they're back to fireworks this year, but it's a professional fireworks show. So we may go down and watch the fireworks. We do have some thank yous, though. You know, we have Gail Guthrie with her $20 super sticker and another super sticker from K Major for $10.
Thank you so much.
That's the most American thing we could do. Give you a British thank you.
Thank you so much.
We really do appreciate you helping us fund this show. We are dark tomorrow. Mark will be back on Wednesday. If he's not, I will be here if he somehow extends his vacation, but I don't think that'll happen. I think he's ready to get back in, as evidenced by all the stories I got sent this weekend. I think
he's on vacation with air quotes. He was in our chat earlier today. He's been sending us stories throughout the weekend.
He can't stay away from us. He loves us so much.
He's been brainstorming which airport he wants to live in. So
just can't close that Marky mouth. I can only say that now when he's not here. Albert, thank you so much for everything. Thanks to John Daly for all the stories he sent me as well. Thank you to Mark for all the stories. And thank you for participating in the show, for being with us along for the ride. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Make it a very great holiday for you.
Great and safe. And go Joey Chestnut, everybody. Let's hope Joey Chestnut.
Go Joey Chestnut
tomorrow.
And enjoy your dark, quiet parking lot, Albert.
Thank you. I'll probably be... This is after a barbecue tomorrow, so Kim, I'll have all my fun in the morning and for lunchtime. Then I'll be
I'm
on dog duty
Stevens
for
the Mark
night.
Thompson Show. Bye-bye.
All the time. Bye-bye.
Have a great weekend, you guys. Bye-bye.